All right, friends, it's time to revise our fun killer tier list. How fun is every killer in Dead by Daylight? I made a previous one. I'm going to put that one up on screen for a second here. Here it is. Here's my old one. Had bigger icons. And we had always fun, usually fun, sometimes fun, rarely fun, and not much fun. I actually need to change that on the current one. So we've got always fun, usually fun, sometimes fun, rarely fun, and we've got almost never fun. At least I think that was it, right? Yeah. Not much fun. That's much better. Not much fun. Okay. So this did not change at all between the two tier lists. My favorite killer to play, always have fun with him, is the Blight. Now, this is alphabetical order, so there we go. Blight right up there immediately. Boom. Why is he fun? His mechanics. Running around at the speed of sound, pinballing all over the place, trying for different techs, getting those hits on survivors. He's got a great add-on selection. He gets a ton of blood points. He's the closest thing to a main I have, probably ever will have. He's just fantastic. All right. Now, in the previous tier list, we had Michael Myers. I don't think Michael Myers deserves to be quite that high up, but I think he's still top tier. So, who is next if not Myers? I think it would actually be Deathslinger for me. Deathslinger is just a joy. I love shooting his gun. It's a very fun mechanic. I keep forgetting this is in alphabetical order. Or is it? What in the world? Where's Deathslinger? There he is. What is he doing down there? Anyways, Deathslinger's next for me. It's just so fun to shoot his gun and use it. Getting cool hits on survivors in places where they don't expect it. His anti-loop's super fun. I like his aesthetic, his laugh. He's got fantastic laugh. We just love him. Ton of fun. Next, I would say, is Albert Wesker, because not only does he have great voice lines, a great model, his power is extremely well designed, complicated, and has good chase power. It's not ridiculously oppressive. In fact, the only criticism I ever see levied at Wesker as a killer is that he's too common. People see him too much because he's that fun. After that, I would put Michael Myers, because I always have a good time playing Michael Myers. He's like 3 killers in one. You've got Scratchmere Myers, regular and infinite Myers, and then you've got Tombstone Myers. It's totally 3 totally different ways of playing Myers. He's like a completely different killer in all 3 scenarios. So, yes. Now, I'm trying to remember from our previous tiers list, and maybe my chat can help me with this, if anyone else deserved to be in the always fun category. Dredge is definitely up there. You know what? Actually, there is a new killer. There is a new killer coming to the top tier, and you're not going to believe it. Who it is? It's the twins. I adore the twins. I think controlling Victor is a blast. Being in 2 places at once, getting to switch between Charlotte and Victor. Chase Survivor one way, they'd run into the other person. Oh, they drop down. Oh, Victor's there waiting. Oh, Charlotte's there waiting. Whatever. They've got a decent add-on selection. It's not the best, but they can use a lot of perks better than most killers can. And just in general, they're really fun and really good. So super strong. There's my OBS. I try to be a little bit more professional, but this is definitely not professional. Okay, so previous tier list, and we're going to be referencing this constantly. Previous tier list. We've got Dredge, Pyramid Head. I think those are still top of the A tier for me. So Pyramid Head has got amazing anti-loop, a very fun mechanical power to master. All right, I will read off everything you say in chat in just a little bit. We got to keep going. I love my chat. Pyramid Head is a classic horror icon of video gaming. What's not to love about him? He's also the Tunnel Master 9000, and as someone who doesn't mind tunneling, although I'm doing a lot less of it these days because I feel like Killer is in a really good place, and survivors have it kind of rough right now, especially solo queue survivors. I haven't been tunneling as much, but I mean, if you want to get someone out of the game fast, Pyramid Head's your guy. Right up there with him is the Dredge. Dredge is a ton of fun. But he's not as high as I initially placed him because some maps just don't have good lockers. They got awful lockers. And when you have awful lockers, excuse me, I itch my nose here, then you've got a bad time. His anti-loop is kind of good, but it can be played around it on certain loops. It just doesn't work, and you end up, they just hold forward and goodbye. All right. Switching back to our old tier list. Plague is definitely not here anymore. Not here. I think Demogorgon, however, is. Demogorgon is still a ton of fun. His power is simple yet sufficient. He's got a little of everything. You know, he's got anti-loop, pallet break, a tiny bit of stealth, map mobility, but only so much. You know, he's got the ability for mind games, you know, and not to mention his sound design and visual design are top notch. It is a pity that Netflix pulled the license. And yes, by the way, if any of you are watching this video and don't know, it was Netflix's fault, not Behavior's. Netflix are the ones that pulled the license. Behavior never wanted to remove a license or any content from their game. And that's a direct quote from Matthew Cote. Anyways, Demogorgon, I'm glad I have you. The only reason he's not an always fun is because sometimes when you're up against really good survivors, man, who just either they pre-run or they run these loops perfectly, Demogorgon, it just feels bad. He feels just like an M1 killer, even though he's not. He feels like one. All right. If Plague isn't here, I guess up next would be Oni. Yeah, Oni moved up a bit. I think Oni's a blast. He's got a great power that's fun to control. Hell, I might even put him above Demogorgon, honestly. I think I'll put him above Demogorgon. Oni is a blast. I love him. His Blood Fury, man, it's one of the most fun abilities in the game. And it's pretty consistent to earn. I mean, you're going to be injuring survivors unless you're against a crack squad on the game and they pre-drop every pallet. Then you might never get a hit. But even in that situation, I've gotten a 2K late game. Yeah, poor Dredge with the lockers. But man, Dredge is top notch. I'm referencing my chat here. So yeah, Oni's great. Let's look at the old tier list. We're going to keep switching back and forth. Would Dr. be next? Would he? I love Doctor, but would he be next? I don't think so. No. I think... Actually, say hello to Huntress. I think she's usually fun. She gets a promotion. I'm not a great killer with her, not a great player with her, and she takes a lot of mechanical skill and a lot of practice. She basically says, hey, play only me. Same thing with Nurse. Play only me, you know, because my mechanics are so unique and so specific, and you got to play me constantly to master it. But landing hatchets is a ton of fun. I love her. She's like discount Deathslinger twins. Oh, I know that's weird to say, but that's how I feel. I'm going to put this next so I can switch back and forth quicker. Who did I have next? Okay, so Dr. Pinhead. I think Pinhead is next. Yeah. Pinhead's next. Pinhead's great. Landing clutch chains feels really good. His voice lines are great. His aesthetic is great. His chase music's wonderful. Finding the box at the beginning of the game is just a rush of adrenaline. Man, he's a ton of fun. And, you know, his skill shots. I like killers with skill shots. Look how many of these killers up here have skill shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of 6, 7, 8. These guys all have skill shots practically, except Dredge and Myers. Man, Myers looks intimidating in that picture. I love that artwork. All right, who's next? Is it Doctor? Let me think about this one. I'll be more patient with this tier list. because I really want to get it right this time. No. Nope, not Doctor. It's Nemesis. Nemesis is next. Where are you, Nemi? I don't know what order these are in. Alphabetical? In that case, Nemesis should be over here. What are you doing ahead of Freddy? Nemesis Nightmare, I guess. All right. So the Nemesis, another great license that came out in 2021. His zombies are hilarious. Yes, they can be broken. But, I mean, using his tentacle is so fun. The problem with Nemesis is the chases are way too long, often. If you get too early and you start breaking pallets everywhere. But man, if there's safe loops and they keep pre-running and they use that speed boost in the tentacle and they just run, and your zombies do nothing, you're in for a rough time. He's slower to get going in Myers sometimes, but I still love him. Who is next? I keep clicking the wrong thing. I changed that so it'd be easy to remember, and it's not, and I'm just screwing up. Okay. Would it be Plague? Would it be Doctor? Honestly, it might be Nurse. The problem with Nurse is she's super powerful and people DC against her. But her mechanics, her teleporting around the room and hitting, not around the room, around the map and hitting clutch, melees with your bone saw is really fun. Her fatigue's a bit annoying. And if you get rusty with her, you end up feeling like for the first half of your first match, you feel like you can't do anything. But after that, she's real good. Does anyone else belong in the usually fun? Like, I almost always have a good time with them. Does Plague deserve to be there? I'm not sure she does. I think we're going to bloat our sometimes fun. Doctor has some really fun builds. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Should I do this, though? My chat is suggesting the Knight. I think Knight is solid, sometimes fun. We'll get to that, though. We're talking about Doctor right now. Doctor with his giggle, his shocking, his wonderful tracking abilities, his complex anti-loop. He is fun, but man, without like running discipline, purple discipline, and like the range add-on, it is so hard to be consistent with his power. And even then, like sometimes I swear I get beautiful hits at pallets with my power, and sometimes I just shock forever and nothing ever happens and I get a pallet in the face anyways. Or they vault. I clearly shock them before they get the window and they still vault. So I don't know, man. I almost want to put him down here. I think he barely makes usually fun just because of his aesthetic and the fact that you're shocking people with electricity. All right, back to the original tier list. I think usually fun is done. Sometimes fun. I think Plague is queen of that category. Plague can be so much fun. Love vomiting on survivors. I love aiming her corrupt purge, getting snipes with it, getting prediction shots through windows. It's fantastic. She is very unique as a killer, and as a ranged killer, she's really cool. The problem is one, fountain RNG. Sometimes your fountains spawn on the in the swamp on the corner. You can never go there. It's like Trapper's Trap. Same problem. Fountain RNG is bad. And two, what if they don't cleanse? Well, they're all insta-downable, right? And if you choose to camp, you can just camp a survivor, but camping's not that fun. And like, if they don't cleanse and you get a hook, you kind of need to camp. And what if they're on a map where the loops are super safe, like the game or Red Forest, a Mother's Dwelling, Plague's in for a bad time. I had a time where I played her on the game. I think I got 2 or 3 hooks the whole time. I had every pallet in the world dropped on my face. It was not fun. So she's inconsistent for that matter. Up next in sometimes fun. Let's reference. Oh boy. We're doing this very differently than we did it before. Before, we just went one killer to the next and just put them where we think they belong. But here, I'm kind of trying to build it top to bottom. Pig. Clown, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure. Okay, let's do it this way. Who's the most fun killer left here? Which killer out of all these, do I enjoy the most? I'm actually having trouble with this. Freddy's funny. But do I enjoy Freddy more than all these? I'm not sure of that. Probably Wraith. Wraith is fun. He's simple. He's the only killer that really heavily uses body blocking because he can't attack while cloaked, but he can get ahead of a survivor and body block a window or a pallet. And that feels really good to body block with him and to kind of outsmart the survivors, or to do the mind games with his lunge after uncloaking. But at the end of the day, he is an M1 killer. And while I do love him, and the flashlight changes have made him better, sometimes he just gets screwed. Like, he just does not do well. Okay, let's go next. Which one of these guys is the most fun to me? Because I think we're going to stop referencing this tier list so much and just go like, who's next? Yeah, honestly, maybe Ghostface. I'm hesitant to put him this high. He's hilarious, though. Okay. Ghostface for his teabagging. The fact that you can teabag survivors, and he's just such a memey killer. I run him with the original Scream outfit with the What's Up mask. It's hilarious. Trolliest thing. So there's Ghostface. Right next to him is Freddy. I know, it's weird to put Freddy in here. Freddy could be considered the most boring killer, but I don't think he's that boring. Even though he's the shitty 2010 remake Freddy, he's still Freddy Krueger with the knife hands. And the way he laughs when he teleports to gens and blood spews out of them. And he can use a lot of perks really well. And his anti-loop, while lackluster, isn't that bad. Plus, he's got the sleep effect. You're in the dream world all the time. Other than just the fact that he's literally an M1 killer at the end of the game, when the generators are gone, he's got like no power when everyone's like, literally, if everyone's awake and you don't have any generators, you have no power at all. But he's still pretty fun. I might put Pig above him though. Pig can also teabag survivors like Ghostface can. And you're right. My chat's right. I was super frustrated when I was testing Wraith. Like, I wanted to put Wraith higher, but I was like, man, Wraith, he's so add-on. Like, his add-ons are good, but at the end of the day, he's just an M1 killer that gets every pallet in the world dropped on his head, and you can vault pallets and abuse him. So, yeah. Sadako is kind of just discount Wraith to me, but the fact that you're this little Japanese ghost girl, pretty cool. You know, I think we have a new contender in Sometimes Fun, though. Because now I'm thinking about Spirit compared to these two. Spirit has a cool mind game she does. Spirit's kind of growing on me, honestly. But so is Knight. Okay. So Knight is going up. He's going here. Knight has grown on me a lot. His aesthetic is amazing, but that could be said of so many killers. Just love his giant claymore, running around with a claymore, sending out your ghost guards and getting those like damned if you do, damned if you don't hits on survivors. I know survivors don't enjoy that much, but playing him and getting those long range guard chases and getting a hit, that's really satisfying. Divine Golem, welcome to the stream. We are doing a revised Killer Fun tier list. And this is going up on YouTube, so welcome to the stream. Let's continue. I honestly think Spirit is going up a bit. I think she's going like right here. She's growing on me. Finally, it took so long. It took 2 years. Spirit's finally growing on me. The last 3 or 4 times I've played her, I've had fun. So there's that. Okay. Are we done with this tier? Are we? Are we? Clown has fallen a lot. Do I want him in Sometimes Fun? Do I want any of these guys in Sometimes Fun? Honestly, I think I've gotten more cynical. Clown, your power is not very exciting, my guy. It's just speed me up, slow down Survivor. Throw a bottle. Nah. I think we're done with Sometimes Fun. Let's go Rarely Fun. I like Artist mechanically. I think she's mechanically very interesting. But for some reason, when I play her, I'm not there in my Artist journey. Crazy Red Top Hat, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm gonna be a cynical jerk here. I'm being as brutally honest as I can be. I'm thinking about like all these guys I'm judging by like how bad can they be? Like I'm thinking about on their worst game, how much fun am I having? And like worst game with Freddy or Sadako, I'm like, meh. They're an M1 killer. Pig, I'm like, meh. Ghostface, meh. I'm just getting whacked over the face. You know, Wraith, meh. Artist, I'm having a bad game and I'm like, why can't I pull this off? Why can't I do it? I'm like face palming. I'm getting frustrated. Why? She's a strong killer. Why can't I land my hits? Why can't I get this hit? And I just get mad at myself and it's not a cool feeling. Up next. Bubba. Bubba can be really fun. I'm camping with him less and less and just going for chases. The problem is if a survivor is really good in chase and you're not using your add-ons perfectly, you might have a rough time here. You know, I kind of wish I'd left the DBD music going in the background. We've had dead silence this whole time. I should have left DBD music in the background. Whatever. Let's commit. Professional recording of tier lists right here. Bubba, his chainsaw is fun to land. Chew through pallets. Problem is he's like ridiculously vulnerable to windows. At the end of the day, he's got no map presence at all. You're very encouraged to camp, which is something I don't typically like. I don't like to camp. I do it sometimes. I just did it on the current stream because I got like a down on top of basement as the trapper. So of course I camped that and I got a bunch of trades. But Bubba, I feel like he could easily go up. It's just, I think I need more time with him. I need to let him cook. Another killer, I think I need to let him cook. Hillbilly, same thing. I know the two chainsaw killers side by side. You know what? Just to separate them, let's put Bubba above Artist. I think I can make an argument for that. Billy has come up out of the not much fun. Just because I'm terrible with him doesn't mean he's completely like not fun. His chainsaw is more interesting than Bubba's. I'll give him that. Problem is it's just clunky and so stupidly hard to control. Like it is unfair that a killer at Billy's power level is harder to control than Nurse or Blight. And I mean, like, it's easier to play him, like, you go up behind a survivor and you rev your chainsaw and you down them. Whoa, you go in a straight or nearly straight line across the map. You know, that's not that hard. But curving and actually using his power effectively, not easy. You get punished for trying. You just end up looking like an idiot. I don't know. Of these 6... I think next I would put, honestly, I think the Hag's more interesting. Like she was in not much fun because I just put all area control killers down there automatically. But having just played Hag, Honestly, I think Hag's okay. Teleporting and ambushing survivors and slapping them with that big old claw of hers is pretty cool. And while she is a killer that's required to, not required, but she's encouraged to camp, it's more like she controls an area and teleporting in that area and like, oh, I hit someone, they're running away. Oh, ooh, chase them this way. Go into my trap. Go into my trap. Go into my trap. Teleport down. Yeah, that's satisfying. That's satisfying. I like it. Man, Clown is following a long ways. I put him in usually fun before. I still don't want to put him up after the tests. Clown, even though I love his chuckle and the way his bottles break and the cloud goes, the actual gameplay is what I'm going off of here. And he just, I'm gonna put Trickster in Rarely Fun. Should I? Yeah, let's do it. Trickster, Rarely Fun. Trickster is weird because he's the only range killer that doesn't really hit skill shots. It's just tracking. And really, his aim is so bad and his knives just go all over the place and they're so scattered that you end up just getting right behind the survivor and lawn-mowering them down like a Bubba. Almost. Except like a ranged Bubba. You just chew through their health states. I just played him on RPD. I ended up camping with him some because he's an amazing camper and he's really bad at map control. So you're encouraged to and chases quickly and control areas and camp and proxy camp. And you can't do really cool skill shots. I mean, yeah, you can throw a clutch dagger through a crack or something, but it's very inconsistent because of the spread. And I don't know. He's inferior to the other range killers in every possible way that I can think of. Neck and neck with him, I would say, is the Clown. Almost Rarely Fun. Does Clown really go all the way down here? I'm going to be nice and put Clown at the bottom of Rarely Fun. I think Clown can be fun. And maybe if I learn him more, he will be enjoyable. But for the most part, he slows down survivors. He speeds himself up. And he's an M1 killer. That's it. You can insta down with Pinky Finger. Whoopee. You'll piss people off. His smoker drinking laughter is intoxicating. No pun intended. His aesthetics are top notch, being an elephant, being Santa Claus. But I'm just talking gameplay and he doesn't do it for me. I've had a couple good games with him where I'm like, yeah, I'm starting to get this. And then I'm just like, throw a pink bottle, chase, throw a pink bottle, chase. You get the idea. All right. Next. Not much fun. Trapper. Now, I just had an amazing game as Trapper. The Dream. 5 gen down. Over basement. Lots of traps. Easy camp. Lots of trades. Easy win. That's not fun. But that's literally the only thing he's good at. His traps take too long to set up. Hag can just set her traps. She just sets her traps. She's got them all. Hag is literally just a way better trapper in a weird way. She kind of is. Trapper, but interesting. Trapper is outdated in every way, and against a good team, even like there's a Scottish killer main called Dead Plays. He streams. You've probably seen him. He always has these clickbait YouTube videos about how he's always going up against a bully squad, even though it's total bullshit. But he's a very skilled killer player. Undoubtedly. I've rarely seen him lose. One time I saw him lose, it was against a good squad and he was Trapper. He got his ass whipped. Because Trapper's incredibly underpowered. And I'm sorry, this isn't a power tier list, but if you have a killer who's super duper weak and basically they don't have a power, this guy doesn't have a power. You put your traps down, then you don't have a power. That's something you're going to see that's common for all these 3 bottom killers is they basically don't have a power. Anyways, up next is Skull Merchant. No, she's not at the bottom anymore. She's close, though. I just played as her. Her animations are nice. Her skins are incredibly nice. Except her default. Screw her default. It's horrible. I swear they made her default so awful. Put her in those stupid overalls and that dumb mask just to force you to buy cosmetics for her. To get her out of that awful outfit. Anyways, you place a drone. There you go. Now, the information part of it is nice. Mind games with survivors can be fun. Eventually, she might go up a little bit for me. And to be fair, I think almost every killer, pretty much every killer in DBD has the potential to be fun. But I still hold that she is the worst designed killer in the game. Except maybe Trapper. But Trapper has an excuse. Skull Merchant doesn't. Trapper's the oldest. She's the newest. But again, these are killers that don't have a power. Now, you could argue that Freddy doesn't have a power, but for most of the game, he does have a power. And he's got a passive as well. These killers place something down, and then they're an M1 killer. And that's it. And they force survivors to leave the loop by placing their power. Wow. Now, for the most boring killer, and I'm a little biased against him because as a new survivor player, or like not new, but inexperienced, he is my least favorite killer to go up against. I'll go up against a nurse way over him or her, them, the 4 of them, two boys, 2 girls, whatever. Legion is so boring. He injures you for free, or, you know, you get injuries for free. Let's say you're playing as him. You get injuries for free. And then to get the down, you're either getting 5 hits in your power, which rarely happens. Unless you're really, really good with him. You're like a Legion main, and you're running the right add-ons. Or you just injure for free, and then you just chase as an M1 killer, and you get pallets dropped on your head, and you eat windows, and you eat tea bags, and you just force people to men, I don't like him, guys. I don't like Legion. I've got a vendetta against him. I don't think he's much fun at all. I put him below the Skull Merchant, guys. That's how much I dislike him. So there we go. This right here is our new revised killer, fun to play as tier list.